Hello, my scholars. So yesterday you have drafted your very first paragraph of your personal narrative essay. It was your introduction paragraph. Today it is time for us to use our graphic organizer, our outline, to draft clear paragraphs of our personal narrative using sequential words. Let's take a look at what sequential words are. They are words and phrases that signal time and tell when something happened. You use these to keep your story moving along. However, be careful not to use too many temporal or sequential words or phrases in your story. You want your whole story to be first, second, third, after that, then, eventually. You want to space them out. Also, you should not start every sentence with a temporal or sequential word. It will make your story feel too quickly paced. Let's take a look at some examples. Sequential words include after, before, during, earlier, eventually, finally, first, following, meanwhile, next, now, last, later, second, soon, suddenly, tomorrow, yesterday, at the moment, as soon as, from then on, in the meantime, shortly after that, or soon after. All of these sequential words can be used in your personal narrative to describe the events that are happening, especially in the order in which they actually did occur. Let's take a look at this example. Earlier, Emma woke up and stretched. Then she got up and made her bed. Next, she brushed her teeth. She used a new toothbrush and berry-flavored toothpaste. Eventually, she ate her breakfast. Her mom made her favorite breakfast, pancakes. From then on, she played with her brother. They went outside and played on the swings and in the sandbox. These sequential words really help me to understand the events that Emma did and the order in which they occurred. But this story moved a little fast-paced. It could really use a lot more describing words and descriptive language. So make sure that when you use your sequential words, they are spaced out and separated by juicy details and concrete details. On this slide, I have included some more sequential words and phrases that you can use in your personal narrative story to tell the story and keep it moving along. I will include this paper in your writing packet. You can also pause this video here and refer back to it at any time. Now, we do know that a personal narrative includes sequential words, but did we know that our personal narrative essay requires many paragraphs? Most writing is made up of an introductory paragraph, body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. When you take a look at your outline, you had a box for intro, 3 additional boxes, and a box for a conclusion. That's to signal your intro paragraph, your 3 body paragraphs, and your conclusion paragraph. So as you draft over the next few days, you'll take each of those boxes and create a lengthy paragraph, a detailed paragraph. Some things to remember. Paragraphs begin with an indented line. Only the first line of the paragraph is indented. You do so by pressing the Tab key on your keyboard. When to change paragraph. Now, our outline graphic organizer will help us know when to start a new paragraph, but other moments in a story to tell us to start a new paragraph include when a new character comes along, when a new event happens, when the idea or topic changes, when the setting changes, or even when a new person is speaking. Let's take a look at this example here when new paragraphs have been started and indented in. My first birthday was when I turned 11. My mom and dad threw me a Survivor-themed birthday party. It was so much fun, and all my friends came. New paragraph. My parents had a lot of fun activities for us to do. During the first activity, we had a gross food challenge. Boys and girls, a new paragraph was started because a new event is happening. The activities such as the gross food challenge. The teams had to eat weird foods like sour candy, strange vegetables, and even a can of baby food. We also played relay races and had other competitions. New paragraph. Everyone had a great time and said it was the best birthday party they had ever went to. And now most of my friends like to watch Survivor. The reason why a new paragraph was started here is because this is a conclusion paragraph. A new idea is coming along. So let's review our outline so we can use it to draft our personal narrative. Here's my outline. Notice I've already copy and pasted my introduction paragraph that we worked on yesterday. That paragraph is completely done. I'm very proud of it. But now it's time for me to draft paragraphs for the beginning, this box here, the middle, this box here, the end, this box, and finally the conclusion, my last blue box. Each of these should be expanded upon with more details and dialogue into full, complete paragraphs. Let's take a look at how I've done that. Once again, my introduction is here. I just copied and pasted it right in. But as I was rereading, I noticed a spot where I should actually break it up into two paragraphs. And I actually put part of it in body paragraph 1, the beginning. Let me show you what I mean. Follow along as I read. I am soaking up the sunshine that is peeking through the clouds on this humid August day as I am surrounded by the laughter and chatter of my loved ones. Everywhere I look, I see happiness exuding. As I look to my right, Alicia is conversing with Benny's wife and Wendy about life. To my left is Joe serving me more scrumptious venison, even though I am saying, no more, I am full. Far in the distance, Trevor is winning a game of can jam. I think to myself, what a perfect summer day. So my scholars, on my outline before, I had soon the humidity causes a sprinkle of rain, so I hop in the car with Alicia and Wendy to make our way back home on the lake, while the guys decide to walk back in the rain, as part of my introduction. But this was a great moment where the scene is beginning to change. I'm leaving the barbecue to hop into the car. So this is a great time for me to start my body paragraph 1. And I made sure to indent in by pressing the tab. You may have trouble typing into these boxes with the tab key, and if that is the case, all you have to do is hit the spacebar a couple of times. I'll continue reading my body paragraph 1, where I draft out the beginning of my story with juicy details. We pull up to the house as the spitting rain begins to dissipate. The view over the lake catches my eye. The sun is setting and it is pretty. I am so excited to see the view from the dock that I call the dog, Brandy, to come with me. I begin skipping and see Trevor finally near the house. Brandy and I stop in our tracks and I ask Trevor to come see the sunset with me on the dock. He smiles but uses the bathroom instead. Worried that the pretty sky would disappear quickly, I decide to skip on down with Brandy and take in the sky's beauty. Boys and girls, notice that I am telling the story in the order in which it is happening. I'm telling you what is happening first. The rain stops. As I pull up to the house, I notice that the sky is setting. I want to go down to the dock with Brandy, but then I see Trevor. I ask Trevor to come with me, but he decides to go inside instead. Finally, I make my way down to the dock. It's now time to start a new paragraph. And I want to make sure that I tell the story properly. So it's really important that I go back to my outline page to refresh my memory on what my next paragraph should be about. So I've already written my introduction. I've already written the beginning of my story paragraph. And now it's time to write about the paragraph where Trevor gets down on one knee and actually does the proposal. So let's take a look at how I start that paragraph. I start with an indent, of course, and I make sure to remember the details. I'm on the dock, so that's where I'm going to start. On the dock, Brandy circles my feet as I watch the clouds pass and the colors of the sky change. I'm using descriptive language to describe to you what I see. I make sure to snap a few pictures to save. Minutes later, there's a transitional phrase or a sequential phrase. Trevor is by my side and he asks his dad to take our picture. I smile big, hoping the picture does the sky justice. Next thing I know, it's another sequential phrase. Trevor is bending down on one knee and reaching in his pocket. I feel confused and wonder if his knee gave out. I mean, he did get surgery last year. Notice that I'm describing to you how I'm feeling and giving some background information, some concrete details of Trevor getting his surgery last year, which would make sense as to why I wonder if his knee gave out. Let's keep reading. It feels like a flash goes by and I see a box in his hand. The box is kind of big. Could it be a necklace? Notice how I'm describing what I'm seeing. Trevor reaching for a box that is big. I feel my heart beating out of my chest as the box opens. No way, I think to myself. Boys and girls, notice that I'm describing my feelings by showing heart beating out of my chest. I'm not telling you that I feel nervous or excited, but the fact that my heart is beating out of its chest shows to you or tells you that I'm nervous and excited during this moment. Now let me go back to my outline once again to see what my third paragraph should be all about. Use your map to guide you in your writing. My third paragraph should be about how I immediately fall to my knees, crying and blubbering. So let's draft that paragraph. Remember, start a new paragraph with an indent. And keep in mind, the reason why I'm starting a new paragraph is because a new action is taking place. The action in paragraph 2 was Trevor bending down and proposing, but the action in paragraph 3 is how I react to that. I fall to my knees. It's an engagement ring, something I did not expect to see. At this point, I feel as though my heart is exploding. I immediately embrace Trevor with a tight bear hug, blubbering in his ear, breathing rapidly, and constantly mumbling, "Oh my goodness." Notice how I'm describing to you my crazy behavior right now, my shocked behavior. I don't just tell you that I am shocked. I show you how shocked I am by giving a tight hug, blubbering, crying, and mumbling, "Oh my goodness." And blubbering is a better word to use than crying. It's more descriptive, and it has a stronger feeling. Let me keep reading. I am such a mess that Trevor can't even get a word out of his mouth. He knows my answer, though, and so do his dad and stepmom. It is a clear yes. Now I'm going to start another new paragraph during body 3. And that's because a new character is coming in. So that's a great time to start a new paragraph. The new character that's coming in is Alicia, my mother-in-law to be. Alicia snaps me out of my emotional state by saying, "No more crying, I am crying." I run over to her and hug her for the first time, realizing she will be my mother-in-law. This makes me think that I must call my friends and family with the heartwarming news on the way up to the house. Come to find out, everyone knew Trevor planned on proposing and are more than happy for us. Boys and girls, we will save our conclusion for later in the week. It is now time for you to help me read this passage and indent where new paragraphs should begin. and discuss why we should begin a new paragraph. So as I read this, go ahead and tap your head and tell me where a new paragraph should begin. My mom, what? Oh, I need an indent in the beginning. Great job. Good thing you're here. All right, I've added my indent in the beginning. Now let's keep going. My mom and I took my little sister to the zoo. It was her first time there, and she was really excited to see giraffes and elephants. When we got to the elephant barn, she saw an elephant holding a paintbrush with his trunk and painting a picture on an easel. It was so neat. On the way out of the zoo, we stopped at the souvenir shop. You guys are stopping me? Where should I put a new paragraph? Oh, on the way out of the zoo. Well, why should I be starting a new paragraph there? Makes sense. The scene is changing. The kids are now leaving the zoo. Let's keep reading. On the way out of the zoo, we stopped at the souvenir shop. My sister begged my mom to get the stuffed giraffe. She asked politely, "Please, Mom, this would complete my stuffed animal collection." My mother finally agreed to buy it and we left. As I look back on this day, I feel so happy. Tapping heads? Where should a new paragraph begin? Perfect. As I look back on this day, I feel so happy to have watched something as unique as a giraffe painting. I plan to research all the other cool things a giraffe can do. Why did you boys and girls tell me to put a paragraph there? Oh, simply because that's where the conclusion is starting. A new idea is coming up. Wonderful job. It's your turn, boys and girls, to begin drafting the paragraphs of your personal narrative on Google Slides. If you have your paper packet, you're going to want to get that out so that you can easily refer to your outline and this personal narrative checklist when typing. If you have all of your work saved on the computer because you're a virtual student, make sure you refer back to your outline slides and make sure you check your personal narrative checklist. When drafting your paragraphs, you will focus on a small moment. Make sure your introduction is strong. Use your transition words. Use dialogue. Write paragraphs with indents. Include concrete details and have a strong, meaningful ending. Boys and girls, you will have more than just today to draft your body paragraphs. So keep that in mind. I would focus on getting at least one body paragraph done today and maybe two. Alrighty, kiddos, so happy writing on these slides. Copy and paste that intro over and get started on body paragraphs 1 and 2. Go ahead and get to writing.